All right, number 11 has a lot going on. So let's just kind of pick this apart. So this is a cosine graph. It's going to look similar. It's going to start off with the same graph that we started off with on number 10. So on this one, I'm just going to kind of take those points and move them as we go. Going through identifying the key pieces here. So this is our new amplitude. We've seen that before already on this worksheet. It means shifting up by 1. And this 2x, that 2 in front of the x, is affecting our period. Our period used to be 2 pi. Let me zoom in on this a second. Our period used to be 2 pi, but now we're going to take 2 pi and divide it by whatever our b value is, in this case 2, which reduces to pi. So unlike on number 10, where it completed one full wave in 2 pi units, now we're going to complete one full wave in pi units. So we're going to kind of adjust this as we go. I'm going to start off with a couple key points. Really, when we're changing the period, we're doing a horizontal compression, so to 1/2 of its width. So I'm going to take all of our x values to start, kind of go back and do our original cosine graph. So draw that in green. Cosine graph has these key points. Keeps going over here. Alright, so there's our regular cosine graph. Now we're going to transform every one of those points. So I'm going to take, just kind of starting off from the left side, just going point by point. So starting off with this leftmost point over here. We're asked to amplify or to double its amplitude, so instead of at 1, it's going to be up here at 2. But then we're asked to move it, horizontally compress it by half its width, so that's going to be moved over here. And then we're going to be asked to shift it up 1, so if that final point ends up here. Now, and as you're doing this on a test, I'm okay with you making, I'm going to call them intermediary points. Just make sure you clean it up afterwards, just maybe erase it, or at least lightly dot them in. So that's that first point on the right. This next point, I'm going to amplitude, well, the amplitude doesn't change in that, which is kind of nice. So this point, amplitude doesn't change because it's at 0. I'm going to horizontally compress it to 1/2 its width. Now we're at 3 pi over 2. Half of that width is going to be over here at 3 pi over 4. Now we're asked to shift it up as well by 1, so that point ends up here. Alright, this point, change its amplitude, double it. Move it, compress its width to 1/2 its width, so now we're over here, and shift it up 1. So its final point ends up right over there. So I'm going to get rid of these intermediary points. And let's see, what's next? Move in this point. Amplitude doesn't change, sweet. Horizontally compress it. So now we're going to have a point here. That's kind of an intermediary point. And then we got to shift it up by 1, so that point ends up finishing up over there. Midpoint here. At 1, I'm going to double its height and then horizontally compress it. Well, you don't need to horizontally compress it. It's already at the y-axis, so you can't do that anymore. And then we got to shift it up 1, so that point ends up being over here. So now you can kind of see the beginnings of this curve. And the nice thing is, once you have one full wave, it just kind of repeats itself. And you can just kind of follow that same pattern for the rest of the curve. So start off by graphing a couple key points and then continue the pattern on. So our final graph looks something like so. That's a pretty good cosine wave, if I may say so myself.